Vaccines don't cause autism. No, they do not. This has been proven repeatedly for a long time. And we know exactly where the idea that vaccines cause autism comes from. This is a story of how one small man's greed and artifice rolled back settled science for a whole generation. So let's back up a bit. In 1998, a British doctor named Andrew Wakefield co-authored a paper in The Lancet, a prestigious medical journal. It pointed to a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. The paper had obvious scientific flaws even before the more scandalous falsifications were discovered. All 12 co-authors, as well as the journal itself, eventually retracted their support, while Wakefield's medical license was revoked due to his deceptions and ethical lapses. Every person involved with the 1998 paper is repentant, except one. Andrew Wakefield was a researcher in the field of gastroenterology at London's Royal Free Hospital when he co-authored the now infamous paper. He possibly could have escaped the controversy that followed, simply leaving the paper to be a footnote in history. But Wakefield announced his findings in a televised press conference and interview. He explained the MMR vaccine was too much for a small child's immune system to handle. The measles virus, he said, would be able to enter a child's intestines and cause inflammation. The inflammation, in turn, would release certain proteins into the child's bloodstream, which could travel to the child's brain, harming their cognitive development and leading to autism. It all sounds terribly sciencey, doesn't it? It certainly did to the British public, because Wakefield's press conference set off a firestorm of public opinion. Britain's national vaccination levels, which were at 91% before the conference, plummeted to 80% by 2004, and even lower in many places. And the United States soon followed suit. Also by 2004, the first of many studies that showed there was no apparent link between vaccines and autism was published by the Archives of Pediatrics and Adolescent Medicine. Soon after, major improprieties surrounding Wakefield's original study came to light, because British journalist Brian Deer conducted an extensive investigation of the study's methods and data. It was then revealed that the study followed only 12 children, a pitifully small sample size. It also had significant financial backing from lawyers who were actively searching for a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. Why? In order to prepare to file lawsuits, of course. In fact, Wakefield was on a lawyer's payroll for 2 years before the study was published and was paid over $500,000. The lawsuit had a further aim. If a scientific link between the MMR vaccine and autism could be established, a competing measles-only vaccine could be sold to the public. And wouldn't you know it, Wakefield had a financial stake in that venture. Investigations also showed that Wakefield had actively misrepresented his findings, altering the data to fit his aims and lying to the parents of the participating children. A number of the children in the study already had symptoms of autism that predated their MMR vaccines. The connection Wakefield still defends today has been utterly demolished by 20 years of scientific research, and those studies are far more rigorous than any Wakefield has ever put forth in his defense. In 2010, The Lancet finally retracted the original 1998 study, and it has now been officially stricken from the scientific record. However, the myth that vaccination can lead to autism still persists. Though the original target was the MMR vaccine, the claim grew to include a specific ingredient in vaccines, thimerosal, which is used as a preservative. The outcry led to its being removed from childhood vaccines in 2001. This is another example of junk science. Thimerosal is a molecule that contains some mercury atoms. And since mercury is a neurotoxin, that sounds scary. Until, that is, you remember that table salt, chemical compound NaCl, is made up of half sodium, which violently explodes in water, and half chlorine, which is a toxic gas so potent that it is outlawed in multiple multinational treaties. Oh look, there's some sodium in thimerosal. Is it going to explode? Many years of research has concluded that there is no link between thimerosal and autism. But even though study after study has shown that serious side effects from vaccines are rare, and that autism is not one of those side effects, people across the Western world have latched onto Wakefield's study. Celebrities pitch anti-vaccination orthodoxy on television, and many people who grew up hearing about how dangerous vaccines are have refrained from inoculating their children. And that includes vaccines from all sorts of diseases. Every year, thousands of children under the age of 5 get sick from influenza in the United States. To reiterate, vaccines do not cause autism. Stop believing in junk science and vaccinate your kids. Please. Thank you.